Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and I'm going to take up this game is with your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Disc Room. Do you like getting murdered by a whole host of alien saw blades? No? Yeah, obvious question was obvious now that I think about it, but let's just talk about this game. Disc Room is an Xbox, PC, and Switch release that is available on Xbox Game Pass at the time of this recording, and the game will take you around 2 to 4 hours to beat depending on how good you are at difficult games and if you want to replay it on hard mode. So what exactly is Disc Room? Well, it's a masochistic room-based action and puzzle game where getting murdered by alien saws has never felt so good. You have landed on a moon of Jupiter, and guess what? It's full of sentient saw blades. To survive, you're going to have to travel between various rooms with a whole host of different types of saws across 5 different zones to complete various challenges. The main gimmick is simple. In order to unlock more rooms, you have to complete challenges in the specific rooms connected to them. These generally range from basic, like survive a certain amount of time, but can also be more complex, such as die to a variety of different saw blades around the map. There's also a ton of secret goals in certain rooms that you'll have to experiment in order to figure out the correct solution to accomplish them. Each new zone also mixes up the game significantly. For example, in Zone 2, time doesn't pass normally. Instead, you have to pick up spawning items in the room in order to advance the time a second at a time, and in a later zone, it will require you to step on room panels to add time, and so on. This, in addition to adding a whole host of different acting blades out to kill you, leads to the basic don't die gameplay staying fresh. Speaking of fresh, the game also has more than a few puzzle-style rooms, which often rely on you using the variety of powers you'll get over the game. These powers start with a basic dash, but soon you'll be cloning yourself, sucking up saw blades to carry them to other rooms, warping across the room, and so on. The rooms that have these specific puzzly requirements are much needed respites from the hellish and hectic murder rooms and provide a good balance of twitch reaction and puzzle thinking. Lastly, each zone has a boss that has to be defeated in order to continue, and once you kill all the bosses, you can unlock the final boss and win the game. After that, it unlocks hard mode, which definitely lives up to the challenge. So overall, Disc Room is a fairly simple survival game that mixes a host of interesting powers, puzzles, and more to keep its basic concept fresh. So what do I like about Disc Room? Well, it's extremely addicting, with the game having many different rooms with a ton of different challenges to keep you replaying, trying new ones, and returning with new powers. Additionally, since each room only lasts usually around 20 seconds, failing isn't quite the sting that you'd think it is. Additionally, the puzzle rooms are fantastic, with some of the puzzles being straight up genius in my opinion. The game manages to do a lot with its basic concept. And lastly, I find this game to be a short and satisfying challenge, with it being difficult but honestly not as hard as other brutally hard style games, with the game's length leading to some quick satisfaction and a feeling of accomplishment. When it comes to the bad, some of the puzzles can be extremely obtuse, with you not knowing exactly how to solve them, and one in particular being so cryptic I actually had to look it up. Second, this game has some funky hitboxes with some saws, and that can be really frustrating, with me thinking I absolutely dodged it but the game's still killing me. And lastly, while the game does mix itself up a lot, it is still at its core a masochistic survival style of game, which if you aren't into that kind of game, you probably aren't going to like this one. Just, you know, rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I think Disc Room is a maybe consider, but is absolutely a hidden gem. This game absolutely surprised me with how much I enjoyed it. I will admit I generally do like difficult, short level style games such as Super Meat Boy, and Disc Room delivered on that level of quality. While I do wish some of the puzzles were less cryptic and the hitboxes were a little better, as a Game Pass game, I found it absolutely fantastic. At its $15 asking price, it might be worth waiting for a sale, but if you are into the kind of difficult games like Super Meat Boy, you should absolutely check this one out. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you tried Disc Room? What do you think about it? Please let me know in the comments. But either way, you go out there and enjoy yourself some Disc Room.